Federal judge is ordering the Trump administration to disclose the details of this weekend's deportation efforts by noon tomorrow.
Sherelle Hubbard has more on whether officials violated judge's orders by going through with those deportations.
Hands off our doctors now!
Protesters showed up to express their discontent over the deportation of Rasha Alawi, a Brown University assistant professor and doctor who was deported from Boston to Lebanon over the weekend.
She is far from the only person facing unfair and unjust deportation.
Also deported over the weekend in spite of a restraining order, hundreds of Venezuelan migrants, many of whom the Trump administration accused of being gang members.
That was a bad group of, as I say, hombres.
On Saturday, the administration invoked the Alien Enemies Act, a rarely used 18th century wartime power to begin those deportations to an El Salvador prison. Despite that fact, the migrants were expelled. The administration is strongly defending its actions.
The judge's order was patently unlawful, beyond unlawful.
We removed terrorists. That should be a celebration.
The administration is challenging a potential legal loophole.
Well, there's actually questions about whether a verbal order carries the same weight as a legal order as a written order.
The White House press secretary says the detainees were outside U.S. territory by the time the judge's written order was filed, though he'd issued a verbal order earlier. Monday evening, in a hearing, a judge scolded the Department of Justice for defying his order.
This is ultimately then a fundamental question of separation of powers. The president is simply thumbing his nose at Congress.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.